and family meetings and businesses and industry is all about bringing the family together, okay? If you want good productivity in a factory, if you want your family to work together, to bond together, a conflict can bring about that bonding, but in so doing, we have to pull together. Okay, so now we've got two different opinions as to what we can learn, and actually might be more than one thing we can learn. Okay, might learn how to make the payments in the future on this, but how to save some money in the process so we don't have to go through this same conflict again and so forth, whatever the learning is. Okay, now we want to look at the I. I stands for interest. When you're doing this, we want to consider that everybody's interest is considered, okay? Everybody's interest is going to be considered, and I'm going to share this when we talk from the child's perspective in just a moment. But everybody's interest is considered. You see, the concept is, well, you don't know what you're talking about, and we wipe it out. Now they don't want to contribute. Their opinion isn't good enough. You're only going to make fun of me. We're using this conflict resolution to build self-esteem, to build people in their willingness to share their opinion, their willingness to believe that they got a solution for it. And so it's all about, and this is another reason why we need this tool, is we're not just doing it my same old way. I've seen this in a marriage relationship. I've seen the whole idea of the husband's got a problem, and so he goes and resolves it and so forth. And so after a while, the wife thinks that she's not even needed in this. Okay, well, my opinion doesn't count. I've watched this happen in marriage relationships. My opinion doesn't count. I'm not even needed in this. Wait a minute, opinions count. And you've got to let everybody in the group know that they are interested. You are interested in what they got to say. And the management, know your people are going to work better for you on the assembly line if they know that you care about what they've got to say. If they can hear you listening to them, if they can hear you sharing with them their ideas, and especially so, talk about good self-esteem, especially so if you wind up using their resolution. If you wind up buying their concept and their idea and using it, wow, that was my idea, and the boss likes it. And let me tell you something. When you use someone else's idea, give them credit. Tell them how much you appreciate it. Because it'll give them, it's going to build the relationship, and it'll give them the feeling that someone's listening, that someone cares. Someone on the top stole my idea. No. We give them credit for it. If you've got a good company and so forth, you might even want to offer out a reward, maybe an extra day off or something extra in their paycheck for that idea that they presented. It was great. You might even present it in the form of when you're challenging them to go through this conflict resolution tool, you might challenge them. Okay, if somebody can come up with an idea that'll help me here, we'll make it to your advantage and so forth. So anyway, everybody's interest has to be considered. Each spouse has to consider the other person's idea. Okay, we're going to get to this in a moment when we talk about the family meeting. Okay, now we've got another C here, and we're going to talk about compromise. Compromise. Well, if we got different opinions on all of this, then we're going to have to come to the place where someplace we've got to compromise. Okay? And one of the problems I see of this is, well, your idea might work. My idea will work too. But something's important here. If we're doing this in a relationship, even from the factory level, from the family level, if we're doing this with regards to relationships, we don't want to take the show off. Say, well, I thought of that too, so I'm going to do it my way. No. The idea of if it's necessarily to compromise, let's do the compromising. But here's another important thing. Keep track of who's compromising. Okay? Because if one person does all of the compromising, then after a while it gets to the point of, well, what's the sense of talking about it? We're only going to do it your way anyway. You never listen to me. So if we do it my way this time, the next time my spouse might come up with an idea, well, that's going to be harder. That's going to be harder. But wait a minute. I did it my way last time. Let's find a way to do it their way. Because you're not only resolving the conflict, but you're building the relationship. Same thing with the boss and employer. Employer, employee, the same thing is, okay, we're building a relationship with the staff. We want them to know that we believe in them. So this might be a little harder, but can it be done? And what would be the end product of it? Okay, so you've got two things that you're going to win. You're going to be, okay, it can be done, and so the end product, we will get better production. But at the same time, we're going to make a difference with the relationship of the people. And you've got to know you're going to get more productivity out of individuals that are satisfied with their job, that know that somebody's listening. And the same thing in the family relationship. You'll get a greater bond. Remember, this is about bringing us together. You'll get a greater bond in a family relationship when we know that someone else is listening, that someone else cares. So compromise is something you might have to do, and do it with an open heart, knowing that you're not just resolving the conflict, but you're also helping the relationship. Now, this last one down on the bottom here is time. Time. What's that got to do with it? Well, let's say we run into this picture, the car broke down on the way home, and I got to figure out how to get home and so forth, but we don't have a lot of time to have a family meeting. Now, if we've got, let me challenge you with this thought. If we've got to resolve this in 2 weeks, why do I have to solve it in 10 minutes? Why don't I take this home and share it with my spouse, give her this list, and say, you think about it for a while. And let's set a date. I don't believe in procrastination here, but let's set a date. Okay, we've got to come to a solution by next Saturday. Okay, let's take this Saturday and we'll sit down and talk about it. But you think about it, you work through, I'll work through, but let's sit down Saturday and talk this over and think about it.